right, so UFC Nashville. Let's get into it. What did I tell you guys? Real ones knew Derrick Lewis had this one in the bag from the jump. Too much power, too much of an elite striking game for TEIXERIA. Knockout win in 35 seconds. Actually loved this fight. I loved the 35 seconds of it. TEIXERIA wanting to, big brother Derrick Lewis, good luck. Tries to push him back with the feints and nothing doing. I believe there was a grazing of the eye, a bit of an eye poke on Derrick Lewis, or that was completely fabricated. I haven't even watched any replays. That could have been some Derrick Lewis 200 IQ, 200 fight IQ game planning going on, because he just bombed on TEIXERIA, who rushed forward for a finish. And a really interesting finishing sequence. Derrick Lewis with a knockdown attacks TEIXERIA, who uses the fence as he's getting finished, isn't completely out and concussed yet, fence grabs and just gets to his feet that way. And the ref kind of just said, hey, if you didn't grab that fence, you're about to get, murdered by Derrick Lewis. So we're stopping the fight. Loved it. 35 seconds, quick and easy. Derrick Lewis on a 2-fight win streak, I'll take it. Give him Tom Aspinall. No. But this is fucking sick. Derrick Lewis is up there in age, and he dusted an unproven prospect, but he showed up in shape. And my main concern with Derrick Lewis was, okay, he went through this semi-physical transformation, came in leaner, says he feels great. Sometimes I don't know whether to take that as, okay, they don't know how to fight yet in this sort of body. Like, if they've made, a big weight change, something like that. So I was like, is, Derrick Lewis going to get completely, outclassed by this Towson dude? But no, Derrick Lewis is elite. You guys got to believe. He has his sights on Tom Aspinall. They need to make that fight just for the spectacle. If that fight doesn't go down, one of the biggest missed opportunities in UFC history. Book it now. Book it soon. He took no damage. I'm tired of Gon and Almeida just, twittering it up all over X, sorry. Derrick Lewis out here shutting down prospects. Awesome fight, short and sweet. Beautiful collection to the highlight reel. Derrick Lewis's highlight reel is one of the best in the UFC. Yes, he's on a couple hilarious highlight reels, but what an interesting fighter. Like I said in the build-up, horrendous volume. But it doesn't matter. He's playing a different game entirely. He's trying to trick you into, attacking him, and then he does his thing. Yeah. Complete grappling, a lot of holes in the BJJ, if we're being real, but heavyweight, you can get away with it. At 260 pounds of bulk, the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis, he can just... Grappling ain't in his world, all right? Just stand up, homie. But yeah, bombs on TEIXERIA. I predicted it. Thought it would maybe take more than 35 seconds to get the business handled, but Derrick Lewis KO win. Couldn't be happier with it. Excellent stuff. Loved the Adesanya-esque celebration at the end. That almost sent me. Yeah, big win from Derrick Lewis. Let's keep it going. Okay, let's talk about it. Co-main event. 42-year-old Stephen Thompson against 25-26 Gabriel BOMFIM. So big prospect opportunity here that BOMFIM realizes, gets the W. How legit is this win? Because, first of all, Stephen Thompson, give it up. Incredible career, still holding his own against, young hungry dogs at the bit. That's absolutely what Gabriel BOMFIM is, but BOMFIM, pick something, man. Be a striker looking for damage, or be a grappler, because he tried to do both in this fight, and it just left a sour taste in my mouth and everyone's mouth. The crowd was booing him nonstop, and, rightfully so. He barely squeaks ahead on... actually, Thompson squeaks ahead on volume, but the only damage was on Thompson from a checked kick, which we should count. Checked kicks... Look, they're no joke. That is still visible damage. Thompson handled it wonderfully. Didn't bother him at all. So that could have factored in as well. But yeah, really interesting stuff here. Was this a split decision? It was a split decision. So you know what? There is controversy behind it. I want to know everyone's thoughts in the comments because BOMFIM was defeated. If you think this was a loss for BOMFIM, then you have to completely chuck him away as a worthy contender because he also lost to Nicholas Dalby, who is also stone-aged for the game. Yeah, it's tough. 18-1 record. He does not look like an 18-1 fighter, but what BOMFIM has is composure and technical ability. The cardio is an issue because he's kind of trying to do a lot. He's trying to be a fast twitch striker and a fast twitch wrestler and hunt subs. So he's trying to do a whole lot in there. It's almost like he has too many skills for his own good and sometimes just needs to dumb it down a bit because Thompson picked some shots beautifully in here. Fired back with the leg kicks, I believe. Who won the leg kick battle here? BOMFIM by a long shot, but great kicks from Thompson. Look at these body kicks. That was good stuff. That's big damage. I believe BOMFIM ducked himself into these body kicks on a number of occasions and even got wobbled. You know what? Thompson won this fight. Thompson absolutely won this fight. I don't really care about the bleeding on his leg because he battled through it and showed the judges, I'm still going to kick with my power leg, even though it's gashed up and looks bad. I'm still going to slam it into the stomach and the midsection of BOMFIM, and he did that. He didn't really back down here. Yes, he was stuck in the clinch for a long-ass time. BOMFIM with 5 minutes, 29 control time, but I don't rate it. Shot 14 times, got 5. I don't rate it. 2 of the judges went with it. They liked what they saw. And BOMFIM landed, you know, I want to say 5 significant strikes to the head that were actually effective. Thompson was the one kind of peppering back. Like if we go by head strikes here, a lot of the work is done by Thompson, and that is kind of the target that we favor the most, don't we? I mean, probably most of these were defensive little rabbit punches in the clinch, but I still rate it because with the control time, BOMFIM still did a lot of holding, lots and lots of holding, but just barely enough activity to not get a ref separation. So it's an interesting fight for sure. And it sucks that Thompson had to take the loss because I don't know how his career looks now. 1-5 out of his last 6. It's not a good look. And he was doing well before the Buckley KO. It's super unfortunate to see because Buckley, you know, doesn't really have the goods that we once thought. So it's tough. We can forgive the Rakhmonov fight. We can forgive even the Bilal Muhammad fight. Horrible style matchup. Bilal has the goods when it comes to like really good takedown entries, going like real low on the ankle. That's probably Bilal's best win. Gilbert Burns with a disgusting win over Thompson. So like his career is still like, this motherfucker has gray hair and he's beating Gabriel BOMFIM. Like, yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. It's just, I was so high on BOMFIM and it just leaves me with this result. I'm pretty disgusted by it. Thompson, heart of gold. And, you know, BOMFIM is super, super technical. He's got such a deep bag of skills, but that's kind of, like pick something. Be like try to knock Thompson out or, you know, yeah. And an interesting gas tank. He's big. BOMFIM's big and just kind of stupid with the way he manages his energy because he got finished by Dalby. So Thompson, they better keep him around for at least a couple more fun ones. Give him a real wholesome retirement because he deserves it. And BOMFIM, you got the win. You got your double paycheck, but treat it as a loss. Get back in the gym, do some rebuilding because, I wasn't a fan. And, yeah. Like, Stephen Thompson's up there in age, like, but he's so agile. He's so agile and hard to catch. And, you know, BOMFIM will grow from this. He will absolutely grow from this. But I was really hoping for a better result than that. But, oh well, that's enough. Props to Stephen Thompson for being super competitive and trucking through damage and, you know, arguably beating BOMFIM in a striking fight. And, yeah, I'll leave it there. Great contest. We learned a lot from both of them, but very distasteful feeling after that one from BOMFIM. I wanted to sub. I wanted him to make it look easier than, Rachmanov did. But here we are. It's questionable whether or not he's a prospect to be treated with the same respect as the other names. Stellar looking record, but this is kind of average for the amount of prospects at welterweight now. We've got Shavkat undefeated, and Sean Brady's not defeated, lost to fucking Bilal. But yeah, like this 18-1 ain't sitting right with me. Being a bit too competitive with Thompson, arguably losing the fight. So interesting fight. Take it as you will. Easily my top. I'm not crying, you're crying moment this year in the UFC. Calvin Kattar is done. One of the featherweight division's biggest action fighters in a long, long time. Never realized a title, but some incredible finishes from him, some tasty knockouts. But that Holloway fight changed him, I'm sad to say. And before I completely just wallow in sorrow here, all credit to Steve Garcia, because this volume is sickening. Because Steve Garcia is interesting. This guy, I swear to God, weight bully mutant. But normally that comes with, like sluggishness or like cardio problems. Not for Steve Garcia. Just a complete weight bully mutant, but with insane cardio. Absolutely insane. The durability, I can't even say is in question, because I believe he ate an elbow from Calvin Kattar pretty early in the fight, but the only way you're going to beat Steve Garcia is just planting a bomb full power on his chin, which, the great Mahashat has done. Like, he's been completely slept. This was a faceplant KO from Steve Garcia, but this was up at the lightweight division where he probably belongs. But I mean, hey, if you can make the featherweight weight class, and Luis Pena completely held him on the ground for 14 minutes and easily 30-27 to him. Maybe that's what it'll take. Luis Pena was also giant. A 6'3" lightweight. That's probably what it's going to take to beat Steve Garcia, is another weight bully, because he has insane cardio to go with it. Great power, cardio, everything from Steve Garcia. Great front kicks. He has the right weapons. He's nice and long. Good head movement as well. He's herky-jerky, moving his head the whole fight. And I'm just gutted for Kattar. It's tough to see. Because he did end Steve Garcia's KO streak. Kattar had good footwork, a good high and tight guard. But yeah, just completely shut down from the striking, because And Kattar's a big featherweight too. He just completely struggled. He had never fought a frame like that before, it seemed like. And yeah, just got completely trucked through. Was dropped. That's the first knockdown, I believe, of Kattar's career. Yeah, first time Kattar has been officially knocked down. And it's at the hands of a mutant like Steve Garcia. I'm destroyed. This is a loss that hurts. But I can do one of two things. I can just mope about it, but Steve Garcia is a fun featherweight prospect. Killer be killed, high action. And after seeing this amount of volume in a 3-round fight, super impressive. Didn't look like he was slowing down at any point. I mean, he wasn't taking serious damage. Kattar was completely nullified. But hey, Steve Garcia showed up. He showed out. Yeah. Kattar never got going. He did get going in rounds 2 and 3, but on complete defense mode the entire time. You got to give credit to Garcia. He's now beaten a lot of people in the UFC. Chase Hooper, Calvin Kattar, Malik Wizel Costa, those are some high-quality wins. Yeah, he's no longer, a can crusher in my mind. He's kind of the real deal until somebody finds a way to beat him. I know Calvin Kattar wasn't prime. I was kind of coping like crazy, suggesting he'll sneak through Garcia's defense and plant one on him on a counter, a nice tasty counter. But it didn't happen. But he did a good job just, really using his physicality on Kattar. Kind of what you have to do, because Kattar's technical on the feet, but not a single combo. Kattar's done. There's an injury in there as well. 5 losses in a row. He will be cut. no matter how big of a, fan favorite, how fun his fights are, he will be cut after this. It's sad to see. I think he's well set up. I think he has his own gym or fight promotion. I think KATTAR's set up, so yeah, we won't worry about him too much. All props to Steve Garcia. It's a good win. And a prediction I was completely wrong on, and I'm sure there will be plenty of those in the future. So credit to Steve Garcia. I've doubted him every step of the way, but if he can teach us anything about the fight game, it is that, size is the ultimate factor. And if you have other elements of your game to kind of add on to the fact that you're a weight bully, you are going to excel. You're absolutely going to excel. Gets paired against, a BJJ wizard grappler, Chase Hooper, destroys him. No grappling, destroys him in a fist fight. 3 knockdowns. Malik Costa, a real tactical guy, beautiful, crispy, swift Muay Thai, just destroys him in round 2. Completely trucks through him, gashes him open with elbows, weight bullies him. And now Calvin Kattar, who is at the end of his career. I'm coping. But yeah, interesting stuff. Great feather in the cap for Steve Garcia. 30-27 over, a washed Calvin Kattar. The future is bright for him. We'll see where he goes from here. Top 15 opponent, absolutely. Top 10 opponent. Give Steve Garcia a step up. It's similar to the Josh Van situation. 6-fight win streak. When someone puts together that kind of momentum, if you're trying to build stars, you have to run with that. Give Steve Garcia Giga Chikadze or something like that. David Onama, bigger name. Even further up. I'm totally fine with that because he's earned it. He's making great TV. I'm destroyed. I'm really in a slump right now for my boy. Big Kattar fan. But had a feeling this was coming after the hallway beatdown. You don't recover from that amount of volume. So it is what it is. Good job, Steve Garcia. Morgan Charriere, the last pirate. We're talking technical kickboxing. We're talking I'm losing a volume battle to endless cardio Nate Landwehr. He turns it up in the 3rd round and just goes ballistic and knocks Nate Landwehr out cold. Amazing sense of urgency from Morgan Charriere. Got caught up in, a tit-for-tat back-and-forth striking battle, and, it's tough to do that with Nate Landwehr. Nate Landwehr will outlast you. He will out-goofy you. And Charriere won the 1st round with good striking, great leg kicks. Nate Landwehr wasn't liking that at all, had no ability to kick back whatsoever. And, yeah, more experience in the stand-up realm all the way for the last pirate. More activity, more head movement. Yes, he was taking some jabs. A lot of Nate Landwehr's shots were these little poppy jabs, but Morgan Charriere rolling with them very effectively, never getting hurt or anything like that, and always, what I liked about this performance, always dealing damage to Nate Landwehr. That is how you beat him. You take cardio out of the equation, and Charriere was doing that. He was just friggin' poking that lead leg, beating it up, tenderizing it, making it into hamburger meat. Love to see it. But he was slipping in the 2nd round, the cardio was starting to wane, and Landwehr, got the crowd invested, went for a big sucker punch off the break after a foul, made the fight very, very fun, and yeah, so his coaches gave him a little bit of that Leon Edwards motivation, and that's all it took for the last pirate, just to storm across the cage, abandon all this, hey, this technique stuff, all well and good, I need a finish. Just says fuck it, just bum rushes Nate Landwehr back to the fence, just bombs away on him. Absolutely bombs away on him, gets a concussive knockout. Very reminiscent of Yoel Romero. I know there's not really a big wrestling pedigree with Charriere, but very Yoel Romero-esque finish here. I went with a decision victory, I believe I said, for Charriere. Somebody check me on that. But yeah, either late rounds TKO or decision all the way. And yeah, the last pirate, what can you say? Always fun, always scrappy. And when he sensed he was falling behind on volume, the coaches did the right thing, said, hey, why are you getting wrapped up in this cardio battle, this volume battle? You still got gas in the tank? Let's empty it. Out cold Nate Landwehr. Morgan Charriere just storms across the cage, traps him on the fence, and just bulldozes Nate Landwehr in round 3. Probably the round where Landwehr would have taken over with volume. Morgan says, nah, I'm just going to concuss you. just completely truck through you, send you to the dark place. And yeah, just a full power left hook, I believe, right on the tip of the chin. Beautiful stuff. Maybe fight of the night, we'll see. Honestly, could be a contender for fight of the night. It was scrappy, and Landwehr made it fun. But yeah, not up to the chops. Morgan Charrier, the way better kickboxer. Awesome KO. Get him up the rankings. I'd like to see maybe a Mariscal rematch. I wouldn't even be opposed to that. They had such a close fight. I think that fight deserves to go down again. So we'll see. Yeah, I hope Landwehr sticks around. Always fun. Always bringing the energy to these crowds. Yeah. The crowd went crazy for the KO, but was dead silent and even booing Charrier. Fucking shame on you, Nashville. How about you cheer for someone that's not from the U.S.? He just gave you one of the best KOs of the year. Devastating, slug it out KO, and you're dead silent and booing the guy. He's a fan favorite in Paris, France. Yeah. Stock massive raise for Charrier. One of my favorite fighters. One of my favorite featherweights. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. I love Landwehr too, but I just saw a gap in the striking here and sort of the kickboxing acumen, the comfortability on the feet. But Landwehr's game, crazy cardio, good volume, never fucks off. Very, very strong in the wrestling. That was nice to see. But yeah, awesome third round KO. Yeah. So people are going to be salty about that because he was sort of breaking and falling behind. Landwehr sort of sneaking ahead with the gas in the tank, but ballistic KO. Great addition to Morgan Charrier's highlight reel. Awesome fight. Stock massively raises from that. Colossal win for Austin Lane. Don't be fooled by this L. This is a big win for him. Not being knocked unconscious and sent across the cage. Big disappointing win for Vitor Petrino. Just going straight to the grappling and kind of fluking a submission. No, in all seriousness, Vitor Petrino is an incredible heavyweight. Just literally all muscle. Very patient guy. The volume's kind of concerning. He did just kind of look at Lane for about 2 minutes, but just crushing on the ground. Read a kick coming at him very well. Caught the kick and just dumped Austin Lane, a big athletic man. And, rode out Mount longer than I would have liked, but yeah, just dominated the grappling right from the get-go. What is with these round one subs this card? I mean, there's more to go through, but yeah. Heavyweight's interesting. We got Vitor Petrino, Walter Walker, crazy sub threats, very different styles. Vitor Petrino is a big power puncher as well, but maybe lacking a bit of fight IQ and experience. I mean, we can't forget, he did lose to Anthony Smith, so yeah. But, wiping that away with an Austin Lane win, we can't rate this at all. Austin Lane, isn't UFC level at all, but the future looks promising for Petrino. I'll put some faith in him. Didn't get to see a lot of growth, really. I would have liked a bit more cage time. It's hard to really do cage time because Austin Lane just can't help but be finished. But yeah, interesting performance. Lane will be cut. Petrino, don't give him Walter Walker. Let both of those guys rise up. We don't want them. We want them to ascend on their own streaks. We want some new life in the heavyweight division. And yeah, Petrino's fun. It seems to be a finish every time. His 205, he didn't really have to cut it short, but maybe he knows more than I do. Maybe heavyweight is the move for him. Yeah, just kind of had a big blunder against Smith. Awful decision making. And just kind of played Jacoby's game too much. But other than that, he's a problem because he is just a crazy Hulk. Pound for pound, one of the biggest strength-based athletes, I would have to say, in the UFC. And that's what we saw here. Dominant grappling, crushing top pressure. And, it was boring as all hell for this 3 minutes of control, but he did the right things. He rode out Mount and went for the arm triangle a couple of times. Lane did his thing, defended once pretty well, but then just decided, okay, he let him defend the sub, and now I'm just going to club him to bits from Mount until he gives his back. And yeah, that's what happened. So good stuff. Good to see Petrino, not just being a retard and bombing away, using his physicality to just get easy subs. Love to see that. Good stuff from him. I hope they don't give him a fellow prospect. There's plenty of fatties to expose, so keep him away from other prospects like Mario Pinto, Walter Walker. Just give him a blob next time out. Former fat ass Junior Tafa, shed the weight, made the 205 weight class. Good for him, but yeah, the skills can't pay the bills. He loses to TUKKOS, who DC was calling tacos throughout the fight. Almost lost it at that. I almost collapsed into a ball on the ground. He just can't get food off his mind. As for the fight, yeah, Tafa, no skill, just clubbing Tuco at every moment. But yeah, was taken down 5 times of 9. Can these Samoans just be taught a sprawl? Can we get at least one wrestling coach over there to teach them a single sprawl? Because they are athletic. That's probably going to be a colossal take from me this year. They are super athletic. Like, you can look into it. They have great bone density, and I'm not too sure about the elevation over there, but they're athletic, fucking muscular, big men. How can they not, like, if they can, if they got that death touch that they claim to have, and they display it all the time, how can they not, how can they just not stuff that first shot? It blows my mind. No sprawl, like, it's a technique thing. Just no overhook, just plopped onto their ass. Yeah. And Tuco, not even like a big name, not even a big wrestler, had Brendan Allen as his head coach. Like, what? But you know what? I should shut my mouth. The title run starts now. This was all a big facade. Tuco's one of my top prospects on the watch. Really gave these 3 away. These first couple entries into the UFC, took pity on these cans. Now the title run starts. So, yeah, watch out for my man. His transitions were Marab-esque. His durability was Marab-esque. Big Tafa clubbing him, trying to club him to death, and just kept on trucking. Good cardio, didn't break. Yeah, outlasted a unathletic Samoan. Yeah, really put the pace on him. Good stuff. Real good stuff. Curious what Tafa's takedown defense is. It's not a bad number, but I mean, Tuco cracked the code, shot more than a couple times, and yeah, just started getting easy takedowns. I believe he got dropped in the fight as well. He got wobbled real bad and kind of collapsed to the ground, but Tafa, 0 fight IQ. He has kind of got a big mental issue. I think he has either like bipolar or just kind of an anger problem. Not a whole lot of composure from him. So hopefully he's cut, and get ready for the TUKKOS title run. The so-called action man, Chris Curtis, barely squeaks out a split decision against Max Griffin, who I picked, to win by decision. And can you hate the pick? Like, it's close. Very close fight. Curtis is supposed to be like a downhill, kind of heavy pressure, heavy defense volume guy, and yeah, barely beat Max Griffin, who I believe is 39 years old. Kind of a win-loss merchant. Yeah. So, used to be a big fan of Chris Curtis and didn't even mind kind of the stubbornness and the baby rage, but now that the fight style's starting to really slip, yeah, not too much of a fan after that. And yeah, you can't hate the Griffin pick. Griffin was like Curtis should never be a minus 300 favorite against anybody, like absolutely anybody. So yeah, you can't hate the pick. Good to see him win, because I want to see Curtis get more fights, because if he lost this, he'd probably be cut, honestly. He had that big freak out at Mark Smith over the Kopylov fight, and same with Eric Nixick. I mean, they have every right to be frustrated, but after that Kopylov stoppage last fight, they just completely shit their pants and had a big, just lost their mind. All professionalism out the window. Just a complete emotional wreck. And I mean, you ate a pretty flush head kick from Kopylov and you hit the deck, so. But yeah, Mark Smith stopped the fight with 1 second left, so it's really frustrating. Yeah, but just big hissy fit at the end of the fight. Eric Nixick, just complete mental breakdown. So yeah, you guys are lucky you're still, with the company after that, because that was pretty unprofessional. But yeah, good to see Chris win. I want to see him get more fights, because we need somebody to bring it out of him and really attack him, because Griffin's game plan was just kind of run away the whole fight and sneak a volume win, which I was kind of predicting to win. And it almost did, but he got kind of dropped in the second round, so it's like, this kind of like squeak ahead game plan's not going to work if you get dropped a single time. So, and it's super hard to knock down Chris. Griffin was never going to be able to do that. But yeah. So close win for Chris. Good that he gets the win and can keep his career moving. And yeah, Griffin near 40. Yeah, almost beat Chris Curtis, which is actually kind of shocking. And yeah, like I said, never again 3-1 favorite Chris Curtis, because this is what he does. And I've seen him fight in Canada. I watched him fight live against Barrio. And yeah, just a really, like, the crowd was not having it. I mean, plenty of strikes. Do not be fooled by the amount of significant strikes. They're all bouncing off arms and elbows. And after that, I kind of hopped off the Chris Curtis train. I saw like a severe sort of degrading in his skill set. Yeah, tough to see. Tough to sit through the action man, Chris Curtis. This name is kind of slipping away from him, so that's sad to see. Good win, though, I guess. Gets set up at 170, but definitely fade him the next fight. Jake Matthews with a high IQ win, coming out and just completely refusing to play Chidi and Joe Kawani's game. No striking whatsoever, just an instant grappling masterclass. Instantly. 1 minute, 9 seconds. Lands a nasty trip, a slick little trip. Chidi and Joe Kawani, master kickboxer, long, tall, crazy reach advantage here. Jake Matthews does the right thing, comes out with correct, honestly, elite level fight IQ. Game planning, does not engage with the game of Chidi at all. This is exactly what you need to do to win. And it's good to see that, Matthews does have his head screwed on tightly. He does have an elite level mind when it comes to the UFC. It's just there's nothing that really stands out with him. He doesn't have incredible power. He doesn't have an incredible physicality, durability. There's a lot of things that Jake Matthews just kind of meets the bar at. But he's really entering an era of veteranship. I know it's tough to say that because he's only ever had a 3-fight win streak and then loses it. So the next fight will tell a lot if he's really evolving, but awesome win against Chidi and Jaquani. I don't want to see him go. He's incredibly fun, very capable of giving us like destructive knockouts. And yeah, to see him subbed in a minute is a big red flag. No concept of grappling, really. And yeah, just got backpacked by Jake Matthews. Who could have predicted that? Really good stuff. Right when we think Jake Matthews is somewhat of a boxer, fancies himself a boxer, just comes out and shows us his grappling licks. I'm impressed by that. Maybe Chidi is just incredibly frail and weak and extremely manipulable. But yeah, super impressive that, I don't know if this will end in a performance bonus. We'll see. But we got to give props for that because now Matthews has had a complete masterclass on the feet against Andre Fialho, who you can rate or you can not rate him. Kind of had a bad fall off, but now he's had just an incredible grappling masterclass, and that needs to count for something. A lot of people are just very much stuck in their styles. The fact that Matthews has pulled off 2 masterclasses at the UFC level, that's a good feather in the cap. I really hope he can string together more than just 3 wins, because that's kind of been the story of his career, the tale of his career. Getting a step up, like with Sean Brady and all that kind of stuff, and Michael Morales, and just kind of falling off and being shown his level. But yeah, he's active. He's an active guy. That used to be the criticism on Matthews, is that he was fighting once a year, maybe twice a year. But now he looks to be picking it up. No damage in this win. Absolutely no damage, which is incredible because Chidi can dish it out, and he just went in there, got the backpack, cinched up an awesome choke. I'd love for him to get a performance bonus. We'll see if it happens. So, absolutely, get Matthews another chance in the rankings, up the rankings. We need to see if his evolution's real, because this is a great win. Chidi is no slouch. Yes, there's a massive hole with the grappling, but you got to give props to Matthews for really seeking it out in 1 minute. That's awesome. Great submission win from Matthews. Eduardo Moura getting the lackluster win as predicted. Big favorite over the returning grandma, Lauren Murphy, Just just a abysmal volume, very rigid, stiff, brittle, looked weak in the clinch, and just got overpowered by kind of the younger woman. Yeah, not a fan of... there's really no volume to speak of on the side of Lauren Murphy. MOURA just allowed to coast. Kind of a stinker fight, And MOURA's kind of a fraud, in my opinion. Not the greatest gas tank, not the strongest in the clinch, and just not persistent with, wanting a sub. But just how bad is Lauren Murphy? Just only swinging at the head, landing nothing. Not a single body shot, leg kick, and... yeah, horrible, horrible fight. Not impressed in the slightest. This was a phenomenal card, so I will not waste any more time on this one. On to the next one. By far the most impressive performance on the card is this Walter Walker win by heel hook. Is this the only way he knows how to win? We have, 3 heel hooks in a row. That's kind of been the oldest trick in the book on how to submit a heavyweight, because they can't scramble. They weigh too much to scramble. So Walter Walker, the clean monster, he's got the goods. He knows the blueprint on how to take out fatties. But this was Kennedy NZECHUKWU, a former 205er, so even more impressive, 0 of 0. Just got the control time right out the gate, jumps for a heel hook, instantly taps Kennedy NZECHUKWU. Incredible performance, just made himself a prospect with that win. I don't care what anyone says. And NZECHUKWU's well coached. Maybe not elite. I'm not out here calling NZECHUKWU elite, but this is a perfect win over him. Not even to take any of his volume, just instantly control him, overpower him, blob on him. I predicted it, said Walter Walker would blob on him, but I didn't predict another record-breaking heel hook. So incredible win. Walter Walker, that deserves a step up. Get him in with the ranked names. We need to find out if he's for real, if he can keep doing this. Because, maybe the sibling, the UFC sibling ship that we... Because maybe the sibling... We've seen a lot of UFC siblings. Maybe the Walkers are the ones to just take over the UFC by storm. Certainly not Johnny Walker. It's actually Walter. We got him a little bit later, but now he's here. In all seriousness, crazy, crazy submission win for a heavyweight. He's kind of a... Walter Walker's sort of a taking you back to the past, like Frank Mir and sort of these names, just pulling off these unorthodox submissions. I know it's not the highest level of comp, Junior TAFA, Mays, NZECHUKWU, but round 1 heel hook, round 1 heel hook, round 1 heel hook, I'm beyond impressed. Stock raises massively. How the hell did he lose to Lucas Brzeski? This is why you don't hop off a prospect right away, because, I don't know. How did he lose this fight? It needs a rewatch. It was in the Apex. Loses 2-1. I think just gassed out and lost to a really unskilled bum in Brzeski. Former PED cheat. Just out physicaled. I don't know. I need to rewatch it to really get a read on Walker, but lost my shit seeing that heel hook. Not even a minute into the fight. 54 seconds into the fight with a heel hook. We're big fans of Walter Walker. Yes, he looks like a caveman, but this is elite shit right here. That was an awesome submission win. That's one of the best submissions of the year, by far. Oh boy, Mike Davis, Mitch Ramirez. Now, we talked about Davis in the build-up. Heart's not really in the game. Wants to be kind of an internet personality. Big streamer guy. Says he doesn't like fighting. Kind of just knows he's really good at it and does it to make money. Not the biggest fan in the world. Kind of want to see him get starched, for being honest. And Ramirez is kind of a can, and he got off to a great start. This was about to be sort of a fraud checking. And so, Davis had to bank the control time. Tiger Muay Thai prospect, stand-up beast, and Mitch Ramirez is forcing you to shoot takedowns. I just wasn't a fan of the performance, really. You can see Ramirez here with way more output, just, at a bit of a skill diff in the striking realm. And Davis cranks it up in the second round and ends the contest. So big win for Mike Davis. Sorry, not a big win. Ramirez doesn't have a UFC win, and you're a veteran. Please make it look a bit better than that. But yeah, I've got the secret on Mike Davis. Heart's not in the game, so expect these performances, and expect him to keep fighting the bottom level, because he got as soon as they give him a step up, he doesn't really pass it. I rate his Mason Jones win. Incredible scrap, but other than that, he's looking for the easiest wins possible, so I don't really rate the career. Yeah, losses to Yusuf, Burns, and most recently for SZM, who is a prospect in his own right, and super fun fight, actually. Very, very competitive. I think they both had injuries. Ziam with a broken hand, Davis with a pretty legitimate injury as well. But crazy fight with a lot of fun wrestling, fun scrambles, big slams, and stuff like that. But Davis didn't win it. As soon as they give him a step up, he doesn't pass it. But he knows how to handle his career. It's to only take cans, and so he obviously beats Mitch Ramirez with a knee to the face and some punches. And all props to Fatima Kline. Little ladies fight, but she got the card off with a bang with a head kick win. This was pretty tasty. A girl with a lot of grappling experience, but she didn't really force it. She got into a volume battle with Martinez, who that's like her only way to victory, really. And yeah, she's a bit too short and stubby. So Kline winning the volume battle and then just, detonates her pretty much out cold with a head kick in round 3. We need dangerous women. And Fatima Kline, looks like a sweetheart, talks like a sweetheart, but she is a violent, violent woman. And all props to the world, all props in the world to her for getting the card off to such a fantastic start. Love to see it. She, don't be fooled by her, I believe 7-1 record, 8-1 record. Tons and tons of grappling experience, tons and tons of amateur experience, a big, big amateur record. That's why you see her as such a heavy favorite in these fights, because it's kind of the unseen that you don't see on the pro career. That's why she's being so highly touted, is because, women's MMA is still kind of a fresh new thing. A lot of the girls coming up don't have experience. She has a lot of experience. It just kind of goes unseen because it's not on her pro record. Yeah, she needs to step up. No more, hate to say it, bottom feeders of her weight class. Give her some serious step ups. I know she debuted against Jasmine Jasudavicius, rep in Canada, let's go. She kind of had a scrap with her, and Jasmine won it. So they've kind of put her back a step, but that was a steep debut, and she almost won it. She just about won it. Kind of a bit oversized and couldn't get her grappling going, but Fatima Kline, good stuff. Give her a step up. She got the card off to an awesome start. Got it off with a bang. Ladies head kick. I couldn't be happier with it. And that's UFC Nashville. My full recap. What do we have? We have 4 KOs, 4 submissions. Not bad at all. Super happy with it. Had a blast. Stay tuned. The next coming days, we'll find out who the performance bonuses go to. All right, you guys have a good night. See you next week.